Okay. So I just wanted to review triads and seventh chords today and start talking a little bit about figured bass symbols. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to draw all over it. In your book, there's this example on page 39. There's a page 38 of your book, and it shows the 4 types of triads, but they didn't label them. So let's go ahead and label them here. If we have a major third on the bottom and a minor third on top with the shell of a perfect fifth, what do we have?
Major chord.
The major triad. And if we have a minor third on the bottom and a major third on the top with the shell of a perfect fifth, what do we have?
Minor triad.
Minor triad. And then if we keep going down the line, we're going to become smaller. We're going to diminish something. If we diminish something or someone, we make that smaller. So this becomes the
Diminished triad.
diminished triad. And we have a minor third and a minor third stacked on top of each other. And we have the shell of a diminished fifth. If we take a major triad and make it bigger, if we make something bigger, we augment it. And we're going to have an augmented triad here. Yeah. And it has an augmented fifth of it as its shell. Questions on triads? It makes sense. That might be a helpful screenshot. I don't know. If you'd like it, you can certainly take a screenshot of that. All right. Moving on. Remember that they will sometimes use the plus sign for augmented, and they'll sometimes use the degree symbol for diminished. So don't forget about those two signs. All right. Looking ahead to your workbook assignments, there are 11 pages of the workbook. We got some time. We're going to spend a whole nother week on chapter 3, but I don't want it to sneak up upon you. So what I want you to do is I want you to look ahead and probably knock out this weekend the first 3 pages of your assignment is triads and seventh chords like we've been doing and like we'll continue to do today. I changed my mind. 3.5. The first 3.5 pages are triads or seventh chord analysis.
So chapter 3 won't be due this Sunday?
No,
Okay.
we haven't even gone over half of the chapter yet.
Okay.
So it'll probably be due the following Sunday.
The figured bass stuff is killing me.
Yeah, that's all new. So we're going to go over that a little bit today at the end. I want to make sure we have a firm grasp on this. And we've got time. We've got plenty of time. Well, we're in what are we in, week 5 this week? And we're already in chapter 3. We're only doing 8 chapters. So we're sitting all right. Okay. I want to show you also the interactive drills that are available to you in your book. They really helped the 8 o'clock class. So I want to make sure that you all know about them. So as I scroll through chapter 3 here, at the bottom there's these interactive drill 3-1, spell triads and letters. So we're going to load that drill and do some of them. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to show you some ways that you can answer all these. So what I like to do is I like to type my musical alphabet twice. So I'll do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So there's my musical alphabet. And I know how to draw a piano, and so do you, because I taught you how to draw a piano. Yes? So I'm going to draw a piano. Down, over, up, big space, down, over, up, down, over, up, down, over, up, big space, down, over, up, big space, down, over, up, down, over, up, down, over, up. And that's probably far enough for us today. I'm going to, in my big spaces, draw my long lines. Oh, that was horrible. And then from the middle of each key, I'm going to draw my short lines. We good on how to draw a piano? Okay. So they're wanting us to draw, or they're wanting us to construct a triad. What kind of a triad are they asking for?
Minor triad.
How do you know that? I
It's a
don't see
small,
minor anywhere.
it's a small e.
A lowercase e, a lowercase letter is going to signify minor, and an uppercase letter is going to signify major. So I want you all to get in that habit as you're writing. If it's minor, write a lowercase or write M-I-N. If it's major, write uppercase or M-A-J. So they want a minor triad. Now here's what I want you to understand. When we construct triads, they have to be skipping letters. So we have to have some kind of an E, some kind of a G, some kind of a B. So E sharp is this note right here. Now the formula for a minor we just went over is 4. It's 3 half steps on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. 4 half steps on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. So even though this is a C, we can't call it a C. We have to call it some kind of B. So we've got E sharp on the bottom. We've got what?
G sharp.
G sharp in the middle. And we got to call that
B sharp.
B sharp. All right, let's do another one. A plus. What do they want?
A augmented.
A augmented. And we know the formula for an augmented triad is?
Major third, major third.
So 4 half steps, 4 half steps. So there's our A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we got to call it, we got to have some kind of an A, some kind of a C, and some kind of an E. So they asked for A augmented, so we got to start on an A. We can call that C sharp, true. And even though this is an F, we can't call it an F because we have to call it some kind of E. So we have to call it
E sharp.
E sharp. Cool. Are we seeing how to do it? Questions? Can we do another one? Wow, they want a C flat major chord. we have to call it E sharp, back to the other one, because a triad has to skip letters. We can't call it F. We have to call it some kind of E. Otherwise, we won't have a triad. When we actually go to score it, oops. Let me show you on my staff. If we score it, let me share my screen. If we score it as an F, it's no longer an A triad, because an A triad has to have an A, a C, and an E. We no longer have that. We now have an F, an A, and a C. So we've turned it into some kind of an F triad. So we have to have an A, C sharp, E sharp to make it an A augmented triad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I got it.
Sophia Ruby, you with me? Sophia Ruby, you with me? We can't call it a G because there's no G anywhere in it. We're not even playing a G. All right. We good on that? We can go back to the other one. Unfortunately, I've lost my pretty drawing. All right, so here we are. They want a C flat major triad, and we know that it's C flat major because it's a capital letter, true? There's my C flat. What's the formula again for a C flat major triad?
Major third, minor third.
So in half steps, what is that?
4 half steps and 3 half steps.
Good. All right, so we got to have some kind of a C, some kind of an E, and some kind of a G. We got our C flat, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So we got to call that some kind of an E. And we got to call that some kind of G. So this can be called E flat. And that's got to be called G flat. You with me? All right, they want E flat augmented. What's my formula?
4 half steps, 4 half steps.
4 half steps, 4 half steps. Okay, so I've got my E flat marked there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. True? But I've got to call it some kind of E, some kind of G, and some kind of B. So obviously my root is going to be E flat because that's what they gave us. I can call that straight up G, true? And I can call that straight up B. Questions on that? Hearing none, seeing none. Am I going on? All right. Now, the next interactive drill that they have is notating triads on a staff. And this is a little cheesy because you can just keep clicking till you get the right answer. So if I was you and I was going to use this, I would try to do it on paper before I checked myself on the staff. So if we're going to write a minor triad based on A flat, what is my third going to be?
C.
Not a bad guess.
A.
Oh, it's going to be C flat because it's minor, right?
It is minor. It's a minor third.
Oh, it's minor. Shoot. Oh.
Yeah, so they want a minor triad. They've given us A flat. We're going to count 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should have a C flat, true, and an E flat. Let's go put that in. So it's going to give you this little cursor box. And then you just have to click through until you get what you want. And if you stop clicking, it'll think you answered and it will grade it. Okay, makes sense. Let's do another one. Okay, what kind of a triad do they want?
2 minor thirds.
Yeah, they want a diminished triad, so we're going to write 2 diminished thirds. Oh. My awesome true to scale piano here. Okay, so they've given us a B flat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What do we got to put in there? B flat.
And then D flat.
Yeah, I lost my text box over here. Because I've got to have some kind of a B, some kind of a D, and some kind of an F, right? We gotta call it F flat. So is it super helpful for you guys to know that this is there? You can practice these all day long till the cows come home and even after.
Yeah, definitely.
One more?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, they've given us the task of writing an augmented triad on F flat. Those punks. Okay, there's my F flat right there. have to draw. Oh, what just happened? We're back. You can still see it? Okay, we got F flat. What's my formula? An augmented triad.
Major third.
Major third, major third. What is that in half steps?
4 half steps, 4 half steps.
4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have to have some kind of an F, some kind of an A, some kind of a C. What are we going to call that note? A
flat.
A flat. What are we going to call that note?
C.
Straight up C, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go put it in. Here we go. Easy? Do you feel like you're a pro star at writing triads? Okay, I'm going to clear my screen. And I'm going to show you the next interactive drill. Fill in the blanks. It's much like the... Well, here you go. They want you to draw a C diminished triad. And they have a drop-down box for your root, your third, and your fifth. So we know we have to have some kind of a C, some kind of an E, and some kind of a G. True story? So we can make this match because they've given us our root. Where'd we go? C. And we've got our E flat. What is 3 half steps above E flat?
G.
I think you're right. There's my E flat. 1. Oh, are you right?
Oh, it's a diminished chord. G flat.
Yeah, G flat. Okay, let's put it in. So I would never tell you to cheat, but I would tell you that this is an easy way to check all the answers in your homework, in your workbook, right? All right. Let's do another one. Sorry, just a little parenting there. All right, D flat diminished. What do we know? Our formula is what?
3 and 3.
3 and 3, good. All right, so we know that this has got a match. We can put the D flat in. There's our D flat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we have to call it some kind of D, some kind of F, and some kind of A. How are we going to call this E some kind of F? What are we going to call it?
We can call it F flat.
We can call it F flat. And they've already put in this as A double flat. So what I hope you learned out of that today is that you have to skip letters like I did using my musical alphabet there, or you're not going to have a triad. And that you know your formulas, you can construct any of these. True? All right. Questions, comments, concerns? All right. Last drill is complete the triads. Isn't that what we did? Oh, this one. They gave us a whammy right off the bat with the movable clef, didn't they? Do you remember between the two mounds what we have? What is the valley?
C.
Little
Yeah.
C. That was horrible. Let's try that again. Okay, so they've given us C here, which makes this A, F, D. Right here we have a B sharp. What does that mean? What's a skip up from B sharp? It's got to be some kind of what?
Have to be some kind of D.
Got to be some kind of D. Okay, we're drawing a minor triad. Don't miss that. They give you that really small up there. So we got B sharp. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we got? That's misleading. One, two, three, 4. But we got to call it some kind of F, right? So we're going to have B sharp, something D, something F. We can call that D sharp, true? What are we going to call this?
F double sharp.
F double sharp. All right, one more. No whammies, no whammies. Ooh, we got bass clef. We'll take it. All right, bass clef. And what note did they give us?
B double flat.
B double flat is our third. Okay. Here's B flat. Here's B double flat. And they've asked for a minor triad. So we got to go how many half steps below, how many half steps above?
It's 3 half steps below.
And 4 half steps above.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. They haven't told us what the root is. This is tricky. But still, we know that this is some kind of a B. So we have to have some kind of a G and some kind of a D. So we're going to call this
G flat.
G flat. And we're going to call this D.
D flat.
D flat. Here we go. G flat, D flat. Everybody see what I'm doing? Questions, comments, concerns, friends with questions. All right. So that is your section on triads. Now let's go back and let's review seventh chords. Remember, there's 5 types of seventh chords. I don't know if it's helpful for you to take a screenshot of this little chart. It tells you what type of triad that we have on the bottom, and it tells you what type of seventh we have on the top.
Major minor seventh is also a dominant seventh, right?
Correct. Yep. Questions on that chart? Have you got that chart memorized? Do you know how to construct all 5 types of seventh chords? All right. So you've got a lot of exercises like these that we did last time that are going to show up on your first 3.5 pages of the workbook. Let's look at the interactive drill. Oh, ho, ho. They started us out with a doozy. All right, we know this is C. We know this is A. We know this is E. We know this is G. True? Okay, so we're drawing an A, some kind of an A flat seventh chord. Is that right? So the first thing I would do is I would figure out what kind of a triad I had. We got an A flat, a C flat, and an E double flat. What is that?
Minor.
Let's see. A flat, C flat, E double flat.
Diminished.
I'm counting 3 half steps and 3 half steps. Is that what you're counting?
Yes, diminished chord.
And then we have a G double flat. I've got minor third, minor third, minor third. All 3 half steps, 3 half steps, 3 half steps. That is the formula for a fully diminished seventh chord. Awesome. Next example. Again, they were not nice to us. They gave us a whammy clef. So, between the 2 mounds, the valley is middle C. True? So if this is C, we're going to start building on a D, F sharp, A, and C sharp. So because you know how to graph that on a piano, D, F sharp, A, what kind of a triad is that?
Major.
Major triad. So we can only either have
dominant seventh or a major seventh.
right. And then we have a C sharp. So major triad, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got, what kind of a seventh do we have here?
Major seventh.
Major seventh. I feel some Alicia Keys coming on. I feel like I want to go watch Inside Out. Feels tangy. It must be a major seventh. True? All right, I won't sing for you today. I'll spare you.
Oh,
One more? Oh,
yes, one more, please.
okay, here we go. Next example. All right, that gives the bass clef. What's my bottom note?
D flat.
I'm going to move this just a hair. D flat they gave us. And they gave us an F. And they gave us an A flat. And they gave us a C. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I've got a major triad on the bottom, true? 1, 2, 3, 4. I got a major third on top. What kind of a shell do I have here? Major or minor seventh?
Major seventh.
It's another major seventh, right? Questions, comments, concerns? Are you going to be able to do this on your own? No one's talking to me. We're good?
Yes.
All right. Notating seventh chords on the staff, just like the triad one. All right, they've given us a root of E flat, and they've asked us for a half diminished triad. Or, sorry, half diminished seventh chord. Do you know the formula?
It's minor third, major third.
Check
Minor
that.
third.
We got to have a diminished triad, true? For a half diminished seventh chord, we have to have a diminished triad. What's the formula for a diminished triad?
Minor third, minor third.
Minor third, also known as 3 half steps, 3 half steps. So, here we go. We got E flat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What kind of a seventh do we have for a half diminished?
Is it a minor seventh?
I don't remember. Do you remember? Here's what I do know. I know that if it's fully diminished, it's 3 half steps. So for it to be half diminished, we need to have 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. which is a minor seventh. Yes, you're right. We have a minor seventh for a half diminished seventh chord. We have a diminished seventh for a fully diminished seventh chord. So those are our notes, true?
So the half diminished, I thought the half diminished was a minor triad and then a diminished seventh. So it's
Yeah, I have that written down too.
Say that all again.
minor triad with a diminished seventh. So minor third, major third, diminished third.
No, a minor triad with a half with a diminished seventh is a minor seventh chord. Remember that the first thing they give you is talking about the triad. So we have to have a diminished triad, right? Are you with me?
Yeah, so the seventh is a minor seventh then?
Correct. And not
Okay.
a diminished seventh.
So it'd be the D flat.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
coming up here also, they've given us an E. So we got to have some kind of a G, some kind of a B, and some kind of a D. Again, just like the triads, we have to alternate. We have to skip notes. So we're going to have an E flat, a G flat, a B what? What are we going to call this?
B double flat.
A B double flat. And a D flat. And for ear training, you can hear there's a tiny bit of hope until we crush it and make it a fully diminished. Okay, let's put it on the board. Nice. We're all right with that? You want to do another one? Okay, I've got a question in the chat that says, how do you turn that into a major minor seventh, a dominant seventh? You just have to change your formula. I'm getting the sense that we're a little spotty on our formulas. Would it be helpful to draw all the formulas up? I saw one head nod. But that's because only 3 of you have cameras on. Okay, let's do formulas. Major seventh chord. What's my formula? Major seventh chord has a major triad and a major seventh. Minor seventh has a minor triad and a minor seventh. Dominant seventh, which your book is calling a major minor seventh, has a major triad and a minor seventh. Half diminished. Let's see if I can remember my... Oh, there's that one. I can't remember the symbol for half diminished. Does anybody know it? Yeah, I know how to draw it, but I don't know how to get it on the computer.
My bad. I misunderstood.
No, it's cool. Shh, what is that? Option O. Option O. Oh, darn, I've lost my... Can I edit that? Okay, option O is my half diminished seventh chord, and that is made up of a diminished triad and a minor seventh. And then the fully diminished seventh is made up of a diminished triad and a diminished seventh. You with me? I don't know if it helps to take a screenshot of that. Okay, so we're going to do another one of these.
Hey, doctor, I need to leave. Will you be posting this class?
Eventually.
Okay.
Okay, they want a major seventh. And they've given us an E. So we know that we have to have some kind of E, some kind of a G, some kind of a B, some kind of a D. And we know that our formula is a major triad with a major seventh. So there's our E. We got to go up 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. And we need a major seventh, which is going to be 4 more half steps on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that help? We know we got to have a G sharp, a B, and a D sharp to match the notes we have to have. Let's put them in. G sharp. Oh, way off. B and D sharp. One more. Are we getting this? You got my formulas screenshotted over there?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what they're going to give us. Let me just finish erasing here. They want a minor seventh. And they've given us an A sharp. All right, minor seventh. We know we have to have a minor triad and a minor seventh. A, C, E, G. We got to have those kinds of, we got to spell it A-C-E-G, some kind of A-C-E-G. They've given us A sharp. Minor triad is 3 half steps on the bottom, 4 half steps on the top. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need a minor seventh. Which is 3 more half steps on the top. So we're going to call it A sharp, C sharp, E sharp, G sharp. Are you with me? I'm going to put it in. Let's see if we're right. Whoa. Nice. Do we all understand how to do it? Questions, comments, concerns? All right, I'm going to X out of that. I'm going to clear my screen. And then let's look at the last one, which is complete the 7th chords. So here they're only going to give you a part of it. I should have taken a screenshot of my formula. I'll put it in again. Okay, what's my formula for major? Major, major, 7th is a major triad. Major, 7th. Major, minor 7th, which is also the Dom, has a major triad and a minor 7th. Okay. A minor 7th has a minor triad and a minor 7th. A half diminished 7th has a diminished triad and a minor 7th. And a diminished 7th has a diminished triad with a diminished 7th. There's my musical alphabet written out twice. And they've given us a B double flat. Nasty. What's a B double flat also known as?
A.
A. So there's our middle note. They want us to come up with a minor 7th. Do y'all see that? So we've got a B double flat as our 3rd, which means we're going to have a G root, a D 5th, and an F 7th. We're doing a minor 7th, so we need a minor triad. So we need 3 half steps below this note. Is that right?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. And we need 4 half steps above that note to make it a minor triad. And then we need a minor seventh, right? One, two, three on top. And that gives us our minor seventh. So we're going to call this a G flat. Is this true? We got our B double flat. We're going to call this a D flat. We're going to call that an F flat. True story? Let's go put them in. G flat, D flat, F flat. So following our formula, we can do this, yeah? One more? Who wants to do one more? Nobody, but you'll entertain me and do one more, right?
Let's do one more.
No, let's not do that one. Oh. Diminished seventh. Diminished seventh on F. They gave us our root. What do you know about a diminished seventh? Oop. Anybody know a quick way to define a diminished seventh? A diminished seventh is just all minor thirds stacked on on top of each other. So that's a really easy way to do it, because minor thirds are how many half steps? They're all three minor half steps, right? So we should have some kind of an F, some kind of an A, some kind of a C, some kind of an E. Here's our F. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to call that F. We're going to call that A flat. We're going to call that what? Bueller. We have to call it some kind of C, but it's a B. So what are we going to call it?
C flat.
C flat. And we're going to call that, we got to call it some kind of a E.
E double flat.
E double flat. Let's put it on the staff, see what they say. F, A flat, C flat, E double flat. We're doing all right? Can I clear my screen? No, I'm going to take a screenshot first, because I like what I did. All right. So those are your nice interactive drills that you can do with the textbook. I would use them to double check my work on the workbook as well. All right, so that's it for seventh chords. We talked about inversions. Do you remember talking about inversions? I'm going to bring up this chart right here. So here's a review. If you missed talking about inversions or you just want to hear another go around, here we go. I like this chart, but I don't like this chart because this chart does not show inversions like I want it to. So I'm going to add an extra row down here to show you which inversion we're talking about. And I want you to know that we're talking about triads for the first part, and then we're talking about seventh chords for the second part. So that is the great divider right there. You with me? In root position of a triad, Olaf looks great. He's fully stacked. He hasn't lost any body appendages. And they're going to write nothing to tell you that we are in root position. Technically, it's a 3-5 chord. They might write a Roman numeral like 1, but it's not going to have any numbers over here. This 3 and this 5 mean that above the bass, we have a third and we have a fifth. All right? In first inversion, Olaf loses his head. And they're going to have a Roman numeral 1 with a 6. The 6 simply means that above the bass we have a sixth. We also have a third above the bass, but everybody knows that. So rather than writing 6-3, they just write 6. In second inversion, we have a fourth above the bass, and we have a sixth above the bass. So it's a 6-4 chord, and you will see a Roman numeral 1-6-4. That tells us we have a major triad based on scale degree 1 in second inversion with a fourth above the bass and a sixth above the bass. Are you with me so far on triads? Questions, comments, concerns, friends with questions? Friends with questions? No friends with questions? Seeing none, hearing none? All right, on to seventh chords. If we are in root position, they're going to only list the 7 there. Usually it'll have some kind of Roman numeral like a 5, 7. That tells us that we have a third, a fifth, and a seventh above the bass. If we have 5-6-5, we are in first inversion. Olaf looks like he got in a car accident. We have a third above the bass, a fifth above the bass, and a sixth above the bass. And we're in first inversion, and they're just going to write 6-5. If we're in second inversion of a seventh chord, we have a third above the bass, a fourth above the bass, and a sixth above the bass, but they're only going to write 4-3. And if we're in third inversion, we're going to have a second above the bass, a third above the bass, and a sixth above the bass. But they're only going to write 4-2. Now I will warn you, there are some places, especially here in California, rather than writing the 4-2, they're just going to write the 2. And I can understand some logic behind that, because numerically it goes in order 7 for root, 6-5, 4, 3, and 2. It's really easy to remember that way. But some theory books don't do that, and they do 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 4, 2. So I want you to be able to know both ways, whether or not it's just a 2 or a 4, 2. It's referring to a 7th chord in 3rd inversion. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, I may have missed something, but is that the Roman numeral for like the 7th chord, or how does that work?
This is a Roman numeral for the dominant, which is the 5th scale degree. So if we're in the key of C, our bottom note is G. Most of the time you're going to see a 7th chord on the 5th scale degree. That's why I wrote the Roman numeral 5. That's coming down the pipe. We haven't gotten to that yet, but we will talk about that in the future.
Okay, cool.
Sophia Ruby, where are you? Dropping social media updates on your career in the middle of my theory class? She doesn't even here to get my yelling at her. All right. Questions? Other questions? I'm going to take a screenshot. Sophia Ruby, you missed it. I was just yelling at you.
I was in the restroom.
Oh, you were dropping social media updates. I got it on my phone. I know exactly what was going on.
From the restroom.
Oh, my goodness.
Always
Pay attention.
working.
All right. I'm going to clear my screen now that Sophia Ruby got her screenshot. She's got to go back and watch the video to see all the stuff, all the shade that I dropped on her. All right. I am clearing my screen. All right. Okay, I got 4 minutes to talk about Roman numerals. Figured bass. I'm just going to read straight from the book because I think that's probably the easiest. In analyzing music, we often use numbers to indicate the bass position of chords. Instead of using 1 for first inversion, 2 for second inversion, and so on, we use numbers derived from the Baroque system called figured bass. Sometimes it's called thorough bass. During the Baroque period, the keyboard player in an ensemble read from a part consisting only of a bass line and some cymbals, indicating the chord to be played above each note, each bass note. And that's what these chart symbols were that we just barely went over. This is all figured bass. In the Baroque system, the symbols consisted basically of numbers representing intervals above the bass to be formed by members of the chord, but the notes could actually be played in any octave above the bass. The system dealt only with intervals, not with roots of chords, because the theory of chord roots had not been devised when figured bass was first developed. The Baroque keyboardist reading a figured bass followed the key signatures unless told to do otherwise. So a root position triad, for example, might be major, minor, or diminished depending upon the key signature. If the Baroque composer wanted to direct the keyboard player to raise or lower a note, several methods could be used, including the following 3. An accidental next to an Arabic number could indicate to raise or lower a note. So here they want you to flat the 7th note above the bass. So there's my C. I know that a 7th above needs to be flatted. Cool? An accidental by itself always referred to the 3rd above the bass. So if you have a floating sharp sign, they're wanting you to sharp the 3rd of the chord. So if there's no number there, it's always referring to the 3rd. a slash sign or a plus sign in connection with an Arabic number meant to raise that note. So here we have a 6 with a slash through it. So a 6th above, they want you to raise it. Here we have a 4 with a plus sign. They want you to raise it a 4th above the bass. So you're going to raise a 4th above the bass. So that is basic figured bass. Another symbol that they tell you you'll occasionally see is this dash. I guess I have seen it, but it's rare. It's rarer. That just means they want you to keep the same bass note. So here is an example of a figured bass from a work by Bach, an Easter oratorio. So we have to be detectives and determine what all these signs mean. And we'll get into this a little bit more next time. But we know a 6 means first inversion triad. We know 6/5 means first inversion 7th chord. And this is all from this chart right there. So those numbers from that chart you need to memorize so that we can understand how they work in a figured bass like that. Questions, comments, concerns? We're going to pick up on this next week on Monday. So my goal for you this week is to get the first 3.5 pages of your workbook done, because that's what we covered today and last time. And then Monday we'll hit up back again on the figured bass, which is the rest of your 6.5 pages in your workbook is on figured bass. All right, I will see you next week for theory. I'll see you tomorrow for ear training. Remember to get your account set up with Turning Technologies so you can get points. I'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good day, Dr. Baskin.
You too. Bye-bye.
Tomorrow.
Bye.